here? That's what I keep asking myself. What am I doing up here? Most of you are probably familiar with the statement that people would rather die than get up in front of a group of people and talk. Die! And what happens when a person walks in a room like this? They walk in, shake hands with the greeter, and socialize with those in the room. And then they sit calmly in their chair until their name gets called to the front of the room, and then terror rips through their bodies. They begin to stand, only to find that their legs feel like sandbags. Dum, dum, da, dum, 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 da, dum. They turn to face an audience, all eyes on them. They feel like a deer in the headlights. They begin to formulate the first word from their mouth, only to find that their tongue is stuck to the top of their mouth. Their mouth is dry as the Sierra Distance. And their knees begin to buckle, and they go to grab for the lectern, and the lectern says, "No, no, no, please, please, what have I done to you?" As they give it the death grip. Finally, they settle in a bit and begin to recount that beautiful speech, that one they've been practicing for weeks and just gave to perfection last night in front of their family. Only today, their mind is totally blank. What happens to people that walk to the front of the room? Is there an alien ship above that sucks out the brains of those coming to the front of the room? The speaker stands there, finally decides better just begin to talk about anything. So he just begins to speak. He has no idea what's coming next, but he keeps talking. After about a minute or two, he remembers, aha, they suggest that we walk out from behind the lectern. So he takes two timid steps and now is exposed to the entire room. Thoughts go to, how does my hair look? Is there something green in my teeth? And number one, most important question of all, is my zipper shut? He mumbles and bumbles and stumbles through his words until finally in the back of the room the light comes on. He shakes hands with the Toastmaster and runs quickly back to his chair. Just about the time he gets to his chair, a very strange thing occurs. That beautiful speech comes flowing fluidly back. He crashes into his chair, hyperventilating and his heart beating out of his chest. The meeting continues. It's now time for table topics. But he breathes a sigh of relief, knowing he probably won't be called to the front. Then, it's time for the evaluator. The evaluator comes to the front of the room. And why doesn't that word sound strangely like exterminator? Once again, all eyes are on the speaker as the evaluator begins by saying a few nice things about the speech, and then goes through his checklist of things that could have been said, should have been said, and why weren't they said, to make it a better speech, of course. One of the things I get called on frequently is that my voice is too soft. They suggest I go practice, which of course I always do, but the next week my voice is still soft. It would be like having our present little petite Kim. Kim, you're a good little speaker, but when you get behind the lecture, we can scarcely see you. Would you please go practice being taller for next week? Because after all, you are a Toastmaster. Then comes the cherry on the cake. Yes, the and the counter is called upon to count the number of times the speaker uses the words and and filler words throughout the speech. The speaker sitting in his chair thinking, are you kidding? And ahs and filler words? If it wasn't for those, I wouldn't have said anything. Don't you remember my brain was in the alien ship? Finally, the speaker gathers his things and runs from the room as quickly as possible and goes home to take a 4-hour nap after his 5 to 7 minutes speech. So why? Why would anybody subject themselves to such abuse and not even get paid for it? I can't speak for anyone else in the room. I only know from my own own personal experiences. I've known many friends over the years who have been in Toastmasters and shared their wonderful experiences with me. I always thought, that's nice for you. I don't have anything to do with that. One of the final people that shared their experiences with me was a gentleman I've known for 20 or 30 years. Very shy and quiet fellow. He started coming and telling me about Toastmasters. I could see something very, very different about him. He had a lot more confidence. His voice was stronger. I listened very intently. He started telling me about this thing called table topics, which Tracy mentioned earlier. And I thought, I know you had to give speeches, but not table topics? What's this? And then he said you had to come in front of the room without any preparation and give a talk. I thought, no way. Not doing that. No. But something clicked inside me. And I had this awareness that, you know what? I'm tired of standing behind my mother's apron straight. And I'm tired of mumbling and bumbling and stumbling through my words. And I want to learn how to do this. And what better place to practice than in a Toastmaster meeting where everyone else in the room is in the same boat. We're paddling up that same stream, learning how to grow and become more confident in our ability not just to speak in front of the room like this, but just in general communication. And I want to be able to stand up tall and firm and with great confidence and bubbling over enthusiasm be able to say that I am a Toastmaster.